Hi guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. It's the James and Ori show, and as usual, you have James Silas
and you have
Oris. And today we have a special guest.
Very special guest.
You know, it's interesting. I was still calling him. I want to say veteran. I want to say a legendary artist. So even though a lot of times people put the word legendary on old artists, he's not really an old artist. He's just been there for a long time, basically. So yes, so we have Zidane in the building, and he's going to be sharing his opinion on some of the things we're going to be talking today. So
it's great to be here.
Real quick, we have 3 stories, but let's take it one after the other.
Yes.
First on our list is, of course, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard.
Did you say Zidane Paparella?
Yes, I said Zidane Paparella.
Okay. Like, you know, the name is so rhythmic. We have to always call
it. We have to say it properly. Zidane. In fact, sometimes it can be tongue twisting. Zidane Paparella.
Yes, so that's
Paparella and Mozzarella.
Paparella.
That's him. So
I don't know talking about back in the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the first thing we're talking about today is about Burna Boy.
Burna.
I'm sure a lot of you would have heard you saw the story online. It was actually trending for a bit.
Yes. But I felt it was trending because South Africans were taking a shot at the king.
And I feel like it feels like something they've been waiting to do. I mean, in fact, the whole of Africa, if they have an opportunity, they will just want to. I feel like
want to bring Nigerian artists down.
No, okay. Let me not do that. But somehow, some way, I think that some other African countries wish that they were Nigerians or in our shoes.
Can you just imagine?
I mean, it's what it is. I'm just saying it.
So you don't even say it's on this side. I thought you'd be more generous towards our African brothers.
I'm generous, of course. I mean, Africa is one. I mean,
let's not forget that one time it was Ghanaian music on the globe.
Yes.
On the continent.
Was it ever?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. When they had their hip life.
I mean, the hip life. The era of hip life.
Yeah.
You know, it was Ghanaian music, and even a lot of Nigerian artists sampled. We sampled.
Yeah,
we still sample. Nigerian artists are safe.
Before the sampling was safe, we had our Nigerian artists wanting to make music with the Ghanaian artists. I mean, look at the days of Baba and what's their name?
All them Sammy,
those guys.
Yes, TikTok, Tiny. You know, Obrafo.
There's a popular duo that they did them. That two Baba did them. Oh my days, what's their name?
Can you
3 of them.
VIP,
thank you. So we had all those
from Ghana.
That we Nigerians wanted to make music.
They were also making our videos too. If you wanted the best quality videos, you had to go there. Go shoot in Ghana.
Even though I remember one of those two about saying what was that song that they had one crazy ass explosion. That was a shitty video. But
which one?
It was not bad at the time. That he did
I went
True Love.
There's been a lot of
True Love. Yes, now they didn't want accident.
But everybody has always said that Two-Face had the worst videos.
But at that time that video wasn't.
No, it wasn't. When did it was
Two-Face at the time was really criticized for his videos. I think I remember the one that was
absolutely
really good. The one that the first okay, this one was okay.
That has some graphics like this. This one that they did like some nice graphics.
Well, at least the first maybe like the first 4 or 5 videos, maybe minus African Queen. People were just saying that Two-Face videos are like shitty because remember at the same time we had P-Square who were doing excellent videos.
But this was the shooting with Godfather in South Africa.
They were shooting.
Anyway, exactly.
Let's keep it moving.
So
the actual story.
Yes, exactly.
Go ahead.
Burna Boy was supposed to perform in South Africa, but somehow he didn't perform. It was cancelled, and we've heard different versions of why, or whether maybe it's not different versions of why, but like the same story, but different parts of why it was cancelled. Not different. They are not versions.
No,
just different parts.
No, we don't know about the facts.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no facts. You know, just some people have said. Of course, the South Africans who were very eager to mock Burna Boy online were saying that they were punishing him for. I don't know if you remember
the comment he made
back in the day when he had like an exchange with AK.
Yes.
Exactly. I think there was that. It was that Xenophobia thing at some point.
Yes.
So he said something. AK was of course on the parent at Nigerians and blah blah blah. So Burna Boy tried to
defend, and then they had the xenophobia.
They had like a bit of an exchange, and Burna Boy sort of like threatened AK, and AK too was like himself threatened, you know. Back and forth though, and it felt like Burna, I think he said he wasn't going to step his foot into South Africa unless one thing.
AKA started the campaign actually, you know, that Burna Boy, you know, was that South Africans should not, you know, like allow Burna Boy to come perform in Africa.
Yes, no, yeah, but it was because they had the xenophobia thing kind of spilled into social media, and then they had this exchange about, of course, Burna Boy was on the side of Nigerians, AK on the side of South Africans, and so they had that whole thing.
And Burna Boy said he would never perform in South Africa.
South Africa, exactly. So he said that, and then of course, apparently South Africans held that one back of their mind. So when this happened and they cancelled the show, people were drawing out all kinds of numbers as to the fact that apparently only a very tiny percentage of the expected seats were sold by the time it was cancelled, and so Burna Boy wasn't quite the Odogu
in terms of the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
And then let's not also forget the sentiment of the fact that AK are now passed on.
Yeah,
and there's that still sentiment that that's not happened that time. I feel like
I didn't see anybody bring up
AK, yes, or even the conversation actually, but we still feel like it might be from that whole.
Of course. They said it. I saw one or two people say that, didn't Burna Boy feel like he was blah 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 blah, but of course now we have showed him that we want him. And Nigerians, of course, who by the way, of course, some Nigerians also feel I feel Nigerians also are not quite very happy with Burna Boy either. So some people are saying that this is how South African response, where they look like they didn't buy Burna Boy's tickets, was how a people who respect themselves will conduct themselves when somebody has been insulting them, because of course I just feel like Burna Boy maybe has been insulting, or that's other time when he came to perform, he came late, and then he was saying that got punished on a papa or something.
Say he's even here because of them.
And then people still vibe to the music when he started to perform. So Nigerians now feel like, that was bad behavior for Nigerians who were still eager to still listen to him when he was insulting them. They are now saying that, look, years ago, Burna Boy insulted South Africans. This year, they took out revenge on him by not buying his tickets. Nigerians will still, if it was Nigerians, will still go and buy Burna Boy tickets. And so, this means that South Africans are more self-respecting than Nigerians are. So, unlike, they felt like some parts of Nigerians who were on South African side, every South African too was also on their side. So, it felt like Burna Boy was in the middle. But that's only one of this. The other part of it is Burna Boy or Burna Boy's team, I'm not sure who said it, has now said that the promoters did not keep to their side of the bargain in terms of technical whatever, and I think financial as well. They didn't keep to part of the game, so that's why it didn't go as planned. Two, there's another story now that apparently one of the promoters is supposedly involved in a fraud case. So which one is the
10
truth?
million rands.
Yeah, so which one is the truth?
How much is 10 million rands in Nigeria?
I'm not sure I can do the math.
I see me like I don't know, before it used to be 20.
I think it's about,
I don't know how much
I'm
it is
not
now.
sure. Anyway, but yeah, whatever the case is, whatever the amount is, the fact of the matter is that there's this bit of the story that's about the somebody being involved in fraud, and one person in quotes is one of the promoters. So these are like the three stories or the three whatever around this whole case. Well, all we can say for a fact is that Burna Boy is not going to perform anymore in South Africa.
At least for now.
Yes, at least exactly for the moment. And these are like the different stories that are surrounding it. I think that what this means, I wonder if someone was involved in a fraud case in Nigeria, and this show has gone this far, whether they probably will still hold the
find a way around
Nigeria.
it.
Yes.
Because some money would have been spent already.
10 million rands is about 415,900,000.
There you
approximately 416 million naira.
There you go. So even with that 10 million rand, in terms of fraud, I don't know. What's the fraud that we're talking about here? Is it that the money that was supposed to be given to Burna Boy was not given? Is it that the money was not complete? Is it that where did that accusation of 10 million rand come from? Do you understand? So because of course there's the part of the financial contractual breach, there's the technical, there's the production. It's not even clear, so we don't know. But fact is, nothing has been actually confirmed. These are just the allegations that I was seeing flying here and there. And like I always said, Burna Boy will not be performing, and in fact the 23rd of September has even passed. He did not. So we don't know what happens or what will happen in the future, but it's fingers crossed. Should we move on to the next stories?
Yes, Seun Kuti.
So Bbnaija should have been about solutions to Nigerian issues. I mean, a lot of times I've talked, myself and always have talked about the fact that social media just sort of, they can cut just one tiny bit of the main story and throw out there, and now will go viral and nobody will care about what the actual full story is. So, always, do you want to take us briefly about?
Yeah. So apparently, Seun Kuti is saying that I think what was being asked was there a way that it's possible for them to have a bit of political or stuff involved in Big Brother? As everybody knows, Big Brother show is mostly focused on interpersonal relationships among young people.
Yeah.
Sex, vibes, whatever it is, quarrels and everything, But Seun was of the opinion that it might be possible to structure the show to have those same people who are selected give insights into solutions for certain pressing problems in society. So in my own view, it doesn't seem like a totally terrible idea. Of course, everybody knows. I think everybody knows that sex sells. So you can't really.
But I like to correct this. So.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Because my wife is a big fan, and I am forced to sometimes, watch, the show.
Yeah.
This particular season, I don't know of previous seasons. They had some very, very nice, interesting tasks. That bordered around, very important issues, from social issues to business issues. I know there's a reason why they don't touch political issues per se. If you understand what I mean, it's we're in Nigeria, and basically I know it's a cable. It transmits via cable, but Nigeria, most of the ads and everything comes from Nigeria. So, and by that, whether you like it or not, the show organizers are answerable to the government of the day, so they have to be very careful, especially when it comes to politics. But when it comes to like serious issues, finance, they've had tasks that bordered on most of these issues. This particular season, they did. They even had them create businesses and come do presentations, speeches. It was quite an interesting thing to watch. I'm not saying that the whole vibe of the other thing you mentioned, the whole thing, that it wasn't there, but they paid attention to some very serious critical issues with this season.
Fantastic. So the last story of the day is actually about Kanayo. Sacrifice.
That is not fair. It's Kanayo. I don't know if any sacrifice. So he has a few things to say.
Yeah.
So he said Nollywood, just quoting from halfway. Nollywood should not be a ground for BBL, bomb management. Nollywood should not be a ground for people doing runs. Nollywood should not be a ground where people's dollars are stolen in hotels. All these Nollywood girls, this is not a ground for gay or lesbianism. It is a ground for creativity. Nollywood is not a ground for learning how to act. Many people come to Nollywood to learn how to act. You are supposed to come to the industry to better hone your talent. These days, you know what happens? If you're a girl, whether you are fine or not, and if you have a jeep, they'll ask you to become an actress because they want to use your car non-stop in that movie or another movie. People are bragging about the industry because some want to sell sex, some want to sell their bodies, some want to do this and so on, and it is not healthy for the industry, but everyone is welcome. But Instagram stars are the ones who are giving the industry a bad name, and I do not want anybody to join them because they have little time and they will fade out. Now, that's pretty much the extent we are going to take on this show.
Okay.
But I think it's important to realize that Kanayo is, of course, an actor, but also an older guy. As you can imagine, they have specific ways they think about this thing. But if you think about it, back in the day, probably a film or two that Kanayo was in. I don't know if Kanayo ever did a film with Eukaria. I think that probably was the case.
I don't know.
But a film like Glamour Girls, I remember back in the day, in the 90s, when Glamour Girls, in that particular scene, I'm just talking about broadly. So a film like Glamour Girls had a few scenes that people were very, very like, why are you having all this kind of like stuff? So at the time, it seemed like not quite right for general audience to see films like that. I feel like the same thing is happening now. However, when you are young, you are more, I guess, I don't know what the word is, more experimental, more
exuberant too, as
well. more honey, and so you get older and certain things change, because a lot of what he's saying now feels to me like something that is coming from the perspective of an older generation. People who are younger are less likely to feel the same way. And I also wonder if the target of his comments are not specifically Asaba Nollywood. Maybe it is because
that's a different market entirely.
Yes, that is not the mainstream Netflix or like big screen cinema. It's pretty much a particular thing. So I wonder if also that's what he's talking about, because the platform where he said it's Afia TV. Afia TV is kind of like a Nollywood, YouTube kind of Eastern film podcast of some sort. So maybe, of course, that's also the case. I'm not saying that what he's saying doesn't happen in all of the different Nollywoods as possible. Probably they do, but it looks to me like some of the comments really sound like this might be a smaller budget production. The people who are doing movies in Nollywood, also on the big screen and on Netflix, probably have their own jeep. they're not looking to get, what's it called?
You rent jeeps.
Yes, exactly. You're not looking to get the actress to come and give you a jeep to use for your film or another film, you get. But the bit about Instagram is probably true. I've seen an interview where it felt like RMD, who of course is another older generation actor, also made the comments about how it feels like people who are famous on social media are the ones who are getting certain roles. So yeah, as you know, just said, it's a business, you know. So of course, so that happens.
Need numbers.
Yes, but whether but they don't. I feel these guys, because they feel like they are serious actors, they don't feel like if you're an Instagram influencer, you haven't proven that you can actually act. Why are you getting those roles? I can sympathize with them. At the same time, I can also understand why the people who are putting money in these projects, the producers, are also looking to like get more of these Instagram people, because it's already like a ready market. They're already just waiting for you.
But always,
that's another thing.
I mean, the way Mr. Kanayo has put this that statement. Can we go back to when they were coming from as well? No disrespect intended. How many of our actors from back in the day actually were trained actors? How many of them?
I think some of them, and again, remember again that it might not be a thing of like formal training. Maybe you didn't go to the school or anything, although I believe some of them actually did go to the school.
Some of them,
a lot of them went to theater.
A lot of them did.
Some of them, a lot of them studied theater arts in school. So, but beyond that, some of them did not some of them did not get their first roles in a big production. They started from very, very small roles and then worked their way up. But it feels like today, social media star can be like the second person or third person in a production lineup, and you're like, okay, but how come you don't have anything? How come you are so highly placed? So I think that's part of it. So it's okay, you did not learn the ropes within the industry. You just showed up and you're already high. I feel like the guys
want to add something to this.
Go ahead.
There are two things I want to say. First, I want to start with this social media thing. You know, my wife acts. And my wife had, in the past, missed out on some roles because they complained that her social media, especially Instagram, was not, not strong or big enough. In some cases, they said it was not active enough. So we know that this has become a very, very key factor, to getting roles in projects.
And that's somebody who is also from a movie family, whose brother,
whose uncle is
who is a veteran director as well. So you can now imagine for her to still have difficulty
that same challenge
in getting roles.
No, but that's because Kingsley Ogoro really belongs to like really old Nollywood. He has moved into more commercial productions, so he probably doesn't have the same.
And his equipment too is working for him. Now, concerning Kanayo, now, I think that, in as much as we would say, okay, some of the things he has said, he has pointed out some facts, but I think it can be better balanced than that. It is very easy for people to listen to the comments he made and just easily or readily just blame the female folk. But if nobody is selling, nobody is buying. And if nobody is buying, nobody is selling. A lot of these producers and directors too also take advantage of most of these young ladies. Now, I don't want to believe that it is in all cases that the ladies actually say, oh, I have a Jeep, you can use my Jeep as prop and give me a role. I think sometimes this transaction is made from the other side. That some producer just see some ladies,
but that's what he's talking about.
But he wasn't very well balanced in the way it was presented, because I watched it. Do you understand? It is very, very easy, because a lot of people are very easy to tag all these ladies and be like, now these ladies now then this police industry, they're not doing some things. A lot of these guys too, they are not even producing movies. They come in with the hope and ambition to just sleep with ladies. Especially in that Asaba that you mentioned. There are a lot of guys that are producers. They are not producers. They don't have any project at hand. They just gather a few people and say, okay, you can come. And sometimes they even take money from them. It's their money they will use to shoot the film. It's their money is that if you want to be on the poster, you pay a certain amount of money to be on the poster. Yes, that's what is going on. If you want to be on, you want a lead role, you will pay certain money for lead role. So when we critique some of these things, let's be very balanced so that we can address these issues where they matter.
But the thing is, in balancing is like the extent of Kanayo's involvement. I wonder how much he really knows really about the industry today as it works, even where he is, because he might probably know a part of it, but not the whole thing. Because again, he's
if
really
I
belongs
am
to like an older,
if I'm outside the industry,
but you're young and your wife is an actress, so it's different.
Yeah, but you need to understand that Kanayo also still has a network, in as much as he's he's veteran.
Would this kind of stories be getting to Kanayo's ears?
It will if he could hear that there is lesbianism and there is there are gay practices in the industry, he would hear. He would know about these things.
No, but
and they're not new actually.
Is that about the practices or the stories that they are telling?
About the stories, he will hear.
About the stories in the movies.
No, not the stories. We're talking about the things, the practices. Yes,
his focus is more like outside.
But these things are not new.
What are not new? Even the society, it's not also new in the society. It's everywhere. It's happening everywhere.
It's happening.
But Kanayo is kind of like a pastor now, so he feels double.
So
he will hear.
Let me tell you what in my own. I mean, I totally understand. I hear you guys, but generally, for me, it would be nice for me to see a movie directed or produced by Kanayo or a story told by Kanayo. Let me see.
Are you sure he has not done anything?
I think he has. It's not going to be our consumption because
maybe he didn't make it to
the YouTube, the smaller
our timeline. Maybe he didn't make it to our timeline.
I would just like to see that. I'll just like to see that.
I'm going to Google that. I will check. When I'm done.
But yeah, the thing is that the chronicles. Unfortunately, I don't think that Asaba Nollywood is chronicled enough that we have information of practically everything they do. It's very difficult to find that. Today, if any of the big boys, Kunle Afolayan, Mwabudu, are shooting films, you know that there will be some kind of press release and everything. It just feels like the one that's happening for Asaba is that they are putting posters somewhere. It might not even get digital. It might just be one, they'll just put it on YouTube. No real, nothing else. So unless you're looking for it, you probably will not find that.
Let me even shock you. Most times, the working title, as at the time they are shooting, they usually turns out to be a different title.
Okay.
You hear the soundtrack, they are calling a different name, and then you see the movie title is different, because at the point of release they find out that someone has already released a movie with that same title.
Okay.
So that happens a lot.
So yes, Asaba is just another word. I guess that's the summary of this.
Well guys, that's for today. Guys, please subscribe to our channel, comment, let us know what you think about the things we talked about today, and what else? Share,
comment, share.
Yes, and that's I am Zidon on what's your?
I am Zidon 1.
Yes, go check me out. Zidon Paparella on YouTube.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I am Zidon 1. One word.
Yeah.
IAMZDON 1.
Number one.
Numero uno. And on Twitter is I am Zidon without the one. On Facebook, Zidon Paparella. Thank you.
You can catch Oris on Twitter, now X, Twitter. Catch Oris Graham on Instagram. I don't know if this guy has a Facebook.
I do have Facebook,
but
catch Oris everywhere.
James Salas on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Holla at me. Let me know you are from the James and Oris show. In fact, you don't even just if you subscribe, I know that you know what's up.
Exactly.
That's how I'm gonna say.
Like, comment, share.
Peace.